Hi, my name is Mark Martin, a computer science teacher and expert in EdTech. And today I want to talk about teacher dialogue. When we think about teacher dialogue, it's about how we communicate effectively with students. And this reminds me of something I used to do in databases around one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many in terms of relationships. And we need to diversify the way we communicate with students in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And let's start with that one-to-one. So when you are communicating with your student, whether it's through the different VLE platforms, do you have a connection with them where you can give them critique and give them feedback? I know a lot of the VLE and online systems allow you to have that dialogue, but are you doing it in a range of different ways in terms of that is effective for the young person, but also you're creating a rapport at the same time. So that's very key in terms of, having that one-to-one connection with students. And also you've got to think about that one-to-many. So traditionally, when you're doing online learning, it's just the teacher speaking in front of the camera to a crowd or to a group of young people, and sometimes it's very difficult to gauge what is happening, if they're stuck or if they've got a question. How do they kind of interrupt you doing that one-to-many transmission and put the point across? When you're in a classroom, it's easy to do, but when it's online, it might be a bit more difficult to have that communication. So sometimes what you might want to do is have the chat box or the chat group running alongside your presentation. So you are starting to encourage students to put their comments in or to put their question in as they're listening and they're hearing you speak. And that's kind of key and important to really creating a dialogue way beyond that one-to-many relationship. And then lastly, it's about thinking about, can you get that many-to-many? So can you create an environment where you have breakout groups? So you've set a task and then you can have small breakout groups. I know a lot of the VLE platforms enables you to have breakout groups, and then you can have like smaller groups where young people might feel more comfortable to be able to talk, share their ideas and comment on each other's work. And sometimes that's great because that then it helps the teacher to drop into the different groups and to provide different feedback at the necessary time. And then lastly, it's about sometimes if students are stuck with the content, to put it up on the message board so other students can help to see if they can solve that problem or challenge too. And that kind of many-to-many collaborative approach helps you as the teacher to put yourself in that facilitator role, to create a stronger relationship, to create a stronger dialogue with students. And then sometimes, unfortunately, if the dialogue is not there with the individual, who else could you get involved to support you with that process? Is it the families? Is it the SEN Senko? Is it school leaders? Is it your line manager to help you with that dialogue effectively? Because sometimes we all need help. And if it's not working, that dialogue between you and the individuals, who are the other stakeholders that you can bring in to support you with that process? But most important, that thing that you should remember is that sometimes if the dialogue breaks down, it's nothing to do with you. It could be we're living in very difficult times in this pandemic, but it's about encouragement. It's about positivity. It's about using words that are motivating, inspiring and uplifting, and making sure that you, the teacher, is in the center of the narrative and also effective in that process. So there's a few tips around teacher dialogue and how you can use it effectively.